Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to another Knicks Media live stream. Tonight, I want to discuss the New York Knicks versus the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow and preview that game. Also want to open this up to a Knicks Q&A and talk about the potential of RJ Barrett and Julius Randle being the dynamic duo for the Knicks this season and beyond. So, yeah, I want to get into a lot in today's stream. It's Sunday night, 8:30, just a little earlier than 8:30. I actually scheduled this for 8:30, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going live a little earlier than 8:30. So here we are. We're live. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. You guys enjoyed your Sunday with your family, your friends, whatever you guys did today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, man, I'm doing nothing tonight. So I said, yo, why not go live and talk to my awesome subscribers here on Knicks Media, because you guys are amazing. So as you guys know, we're coming off a awesome victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder yesterday. How about that dub? How about it? We had a phenomenal game from guys like RJ Barrett and Julius Randle and Emmanuel Quickley. You guys definitely saw my reaction to that game. If you guys did not, make sure you check it out. I broke it down in a recap video. I also was live during the entire game. And for those guys that tuned in for those live streams during the game, I appreciate you guys because I go crazy. For those guys that watch it, you know how crazy I go. So shout out to everybody in the chat. What's good? Devin, Wubba, Benjamin, Levi, GH Sports. What is good, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your beautiful Sunday night. I'm just here talking Knicks. I'm going to open this up to a Knicks Q&A as well. And we got a lot to talk about today because we're going up against the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow night, and it's going to be a tough one. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Jeffrey. What's good, everybody? What is good? Welcome into the stream. If you guys did not already, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button on your way into the stream. I would greatly appreciate that. So to start off the stream, let's jump right in to my preview of tomorrow night's game versus the Brooklyn Nets. So we are going to be in the Barclays Center. We're not going to be home at the Garden, but definitely will be Knicks fans in the crowd. I know there's going to be a lot of people there that will be supporting the Knicks, and it's going to be a rough one, guys. It's going to be a crazy game because these Brooklyn Nets are hot, and it's scary because Kevin Durant's not even healthy, and this is what they're doing without him, with Kyrie Irving and James Harden looking like the superstars that they know that they are, and they're just an incredibly deep team, low-key, and it's going to be a crazy game. And the Knicks team, which one is going to show up? We need to be a team that's going to be shooting the ball lights out from beyond the arc and playing defense, especially shooting the ball, because I feel like if the Knicks have one of those cold games when nobody can buy a shot from beyond the arc, we're going to struggle because our defense hasn't looked good in the past couple of games since the All-Star break. I think we hold in on the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second half, but the first half against the Thunder was a little like, I don't know about that, because this Knicks team's formula for success so far this year has been defense. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup against the Brooklyn Nets because this is one of the best offenses in the NBA going up against one of the best defenses in the NBA for the New York Knicks. So it's going to be a crazy game, guys. It's going to be a game that we need to be able to shut them down, and we need to keep up with them scoring-wise because there's no way we can keep up and, hold them to under 100 points. Like, we're not going to be able to do that. It would be lucky if we hold them to under 110. There's no way because this Brooklyn Nets team is that much firepower on offense. So we need to be able to keep up with them on scoring. Who's going to step up? Is RJ Barrett going to continue his fine play? Because he's been averaging a lot, I don't know the exact numbers, but upwards of 18 points per game in the last 6 or so games. I'm pretty sure he actually has 20-plus points in the last 20 games or something like that. Could be wrong. But we need Julius Randle to have a similar game like he did against OKC. He doesn't have to get a triple-double, but we definitely want to see him hitting a lot of shots. We need him to score 25-plus. We need RJ to definitely hit 20-plus. We need Emmanuel Quickley to come in and hit 20-plus because, like I said, we're going up against a firehouse of an offense against the Brooklyn Nets. And unfortunately, Derrick Rose will be out again, and that's just a bummer because we need our starting point guard back in D Rose. Elfrid Payton is doubtful, so it does not look like he'll be playing. It's going to be interesting, man. Who's going to start? Is it going to be Emmanuel Quickley because he proved to be a guy that could play with the starters? Because against the Thunder, he looked good with the starters. He did not start the game, but in the second half, Thibodeau threw him in with the starting unit to start the second half. He was playing with RJ. He was playing with Reggie and Randall and Nerlens, and IQ looked really good. And all of a sudden, RJ Barrett drops like 13 points in the third quarter, the first time he's ever had Emmanuel Quickley as the starting point guard next to him. And that tells you a lot, man. I think that Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, that backcourt needs to be on the floor together way more. And I think it's really interesting because Frank Ntilikina, he started the game and didn't play until garbage time. He started the game, played the first 4 or 5 minutes, got 2 quick fouls, and then he got taken out for IQ, and we did not see Frank for the rest of the game until garbage time. That's pretty crazy, and that's what Tom Thibodeau does. He's an in-game adjuster. He's not going to just throw you out there because he thinks that matchups was blah, yada, yada. He's a guy that reads the game that's going on right now, and he says, all right, this player is on, this player's off. They don't know how to adjust to this player, and I'm going to do a mid-game adjustment. That's exactly what Thibodeau did by throwing quickly out there, and I'm so happy he did that because this is the first time we got to see IQ get 30-plus minutes in, I don't know if he hit his career high in minutes that game, probably not, but we don't get to see a lot of 30-plus minutes from IQ, so I'm happy we did. He lit it up, 21 points. That floater was lights out from IQ, and he needs to step up against the Brooklyn Nets because he's that firepower off the bench that keeps defenses guessing because – especially if you can get that floater game back intact because he was starting off the year, that floater was nuts. IQ was just draining those floaters. It was a revelation all over the place. And then he kind of stopped. Teams started to understand that Quickly is a guy that goes into the paint and they were shutting it down and Quickly started missing the floaters, but he would back it up at the free throw line and the 3-point line as well. But now against the Thunder, he had 5 straight floaters in. So if he can just open it up, drive to the rim, get those floaters to go, create his own shots, and be a playmaker because that's what he's doing. I know some people don't like Immanuel Quickley as a point guard because he could be selfish, but his first time playing with the starters, he finished with 4 assists. Is 4 assists mind-blowing? Is 4 assists like a point guard that you're like, wow, he is a true playmaker? Nah, man, he's a scoring first guard. Call him a point guard or shooting guard all you want. But he is a guy that's going to go out there and his first instinct is to score. And that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of score first point guards in the NBA that are very successful. And I feel like IQ is a guy that can create his own shot. And he's that confidence in order to do that. Listen, the amount of times that this Knicks team has missed out on a guy like Immanuel Quickley, somebody that has the confidence to shoot the ball from beyond the arc and hit it at a high rate, it's crazy. We never had a guy that's so young and as a rookie to be able to do that. I'm okay with Immanuel Quickley shooting the ball 15 times plus a game. And because I feel like he's a volume shooter and he's going to hit those shots here and there. He's going to draw fouls and all that. But yeah, so I'm going on a tangent right now about Immanuel Quickley because that's my guy. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 34 people watching. If you guys are new to the stream, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm reading over right now. So the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow, man. ESPN. Not on MSG. We're going to be nationally broadcasted. Should I go live for the game, guys? What do you think? Should I go live for the game? I think I have to, I mean, I don't want to. I think this game, the Knicks are in a good position because if we lose the game, okay, we're going up against one of the best teams in the league. And yes, the Brooklyn Nets, I don't like them. I'll be straight up. Not a fan of the Brooklyn Nets at all. I'm a Knicks fan. What do you want me to like them? You want me to root for them? Absolutely not. Never in my life will I root for the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm a Knicks fan, and I will definitely admit that I'm not a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, and I'd rather them lose every single game. Is there something wrong with that? Absolutely not. So, but I will admit that the Brooklyn Nets are a championship contending team. So they're going to be a team that's going to be rough. And I love this situation because if we can be competitive all the way to the fourth quarter and lose still, I'm okay with it. I feel like this game, it's kind of like a trap game for the Brooklyn Nets because if the Brooklyn Nets lose to the Knicks tomorrow, you don't even know what's going to be happening all across the city of New York, Long Island, upstate New York, Manhattan, all the boroughs, Brooklyn even, New Jersey. I don't know, wherever these Knicks fans are all across New York, they're going to be crazy, especially the New York media, including myself, all the Knicks YouTubers, the New York radio stations. If the Knicks beat the Brooklyn Nets, it's going to be crazy. And I already know the excuses that's going to happen. If Kevin Durant was playing, we would have beat you guys. All the Brooklyn Nets fans would be like, oh, yeah, well, congrats, you beat us without KD. Or if they beat us, if the Brooklyn Nets end up winning, they're going to be like, we're the Kings of New York. You know what I mean? Like either way, the Nets fans are going to make their excuses. But listen, it's a game where the Knicks just need to be competitive. If we can go toe-to-toe with the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow night and it goes down to the fourth quarter and we lose, I take it as a positive because We cannot expect this team to go out there and beat top-tier teams at all times. Have we shown it in the past? Absolutely. We blew out the Milwaukee Bucks in the third game of the season. I know we got blew out by them a couple days ago, but still, we blew out the Boston Celtics. We beat the Utah Jazz. There are a lot of teams that are playoff teams that we have beat. So do we have an opportunity to beat the Brooklyn Nets? Absolutely. And we have a really good opportunity on ESPN to show the world what this Knicks team is all about, because the Knicks are the talk of the NBA. As much as you want to say it, I mean, Knicks fans knows that we're a revelation. I mean, every single Knicks fan, we're in our own little bubble. You know, it's a big community. Knicks fans are hyped up. But if you step out of the Knicks bubble and you look around on the national media, what are the NBA people saying? What are people on ESPN, The Jump, all these, NBA broadcasters that are nationally televised that talk about the entire NBA? What are they talking about? They're talking about the Knicks, because the Knicks are back. And that's how much of a big deal it is. And they know that when the Knicks are good, it's a big deal for the NBA because they make a lot of money. The Knicks are valued the richest franchise in all sports, or at least the NBA, and they sucked for a decade. I mean, that tells you how much value is on the New York Knicks franchise. And now that we're good again, we're relevant, we're above 500, we're in the playoff race, it's a big deal, and we're the talk of the league. You know what I mean? Like, if this was any other team, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So it's going to be a really tough one. I don't expect this Knicks team to win, just because I know what we're going up against. James Harden is going to be really hard to stop. Kyrie Irving is playing out of his mind. Joe Harris could hit 6 3-pointers, and we're lucky they don't have Kevin Durant, and hopefully we can take advantage, but we just need to lock down on defense. I'm really curious to see the Tom Thibodeau defensive game plan they have against the Brooklyn Nets, because if we beat the Nets tomorrow night and we go 2 games over 500, and then we have a back-to-back game against the Philadelphia Sixers without Joel Embiid, man, I don't want to hype anything up and get into hypotheticals, but wow, if that happens. So what do you think we need to do in order to win the Brooklyn? Can't even speak, I'm too pumped up. What do you think the Knicks need to do in order to defeat the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow? Who needs to step up the most? We need our duo and RJ Barrett and Julius Randle to step up. Listen, we cannot expect RJ to drop 30 points every night. He did it for the first time of his career yesterday. He needs to drop 20-plus points. He needs to be a two-way player. He needs to get in the passing lane, force turnovers, play good defense. We need RJ Barrett to step up and be the guy for the Knicks. Alongside, he needs to be the Robin to Batman, and that Batman is Julius Randle. Julius Randle is the guy that's probably going to be the X factor of this game, because we're going up against 2 All-Stars in James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and we know they're going to have great games, bearing anything crazy, because they've been playing lights out in the last couple weeks. But we need Julius Randle to have one of his best games of the year, and he's been consistent. I think Julius Randle has had 2 bad games throughout the entire year. Okay, I mean, I'll take that. I'll take 2 bad games in the entire year. The first bad game was against, I think, the Magic, maybe. I forgot who we were reversing when Julius had an off night. And then this other bad game was against the Bucks a couple days ago. So we need Julius to put up 25-plus, 10-plus boards, 5-plus assists. We need him to have one of those games. And if he can hit that 30-plus bomb, that would be good, because, again, we need as much scoring as possible to keep up with this team. It might be an offensive shootout. We might need to score like 120-plus in order to get a W. So hopefully Julius can be on his A game, and he needs to hit the ball from beyond the arc. He needs to hit all of his jump shots, and he needs to get into a rhythm. He needs to get into a zone, put the team on his back, get his teammates involved. That's another thing Julius needs to do, which he's been doing at such a crazy rate. He's coming off a triple-double, career-high 12 assists for Julius Randle, and I think he's going to continue that. I think Julius is going to continue to get his teammates involved, and he needs to make that a priority, and I love that he's doing that. I mean, he's so selfless, and I love that Julius Randle understands, in order for this team to be successful, for us to be the team that we really want to be and make the playoffs, I need to get my teammates involved. That's only going to make us better. And that's what he's been doing. So that's a big X factor. What kind of Julius Randle are we getting? And I feel like we're going to get a great one. And then, so those are the 2 players I feel like need to show up big time, is RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. Other players, some X factors, Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks. Those 2 guys are big 2 slept on this team, because their role is to I mean, Reggie, the role's a little different. Reggie's role is to be a 3-and-D type of guy. He needs to play good defense and hit the three. Reggie needs to hit the threes at a high rate because the other game, he shot like 4 of 11. So if Reggie Bullock can start the game off hot and hit he needs 4 or 5 3-pointers. Maybe that's a stretch. 3 to 4 3-pointers from Reggie. We need Alec Burks to come off the bench and put up 15 plus because we need as much firepower, much offense on this team. And I think Emmanuel Quickley needs to be another guy that steps up off the bench and drops 20 plus. It's a lot to ask for, but this is what happens when you go up against a great team like the Brooklyn Nets. So everybody in the chat, let me know what you guys' expectations are for the game because it's going to be wild. I feel like Frank is going to get a lot more minutes because of his defense. I think he's going to be strictly on the court to lock down Kyrie or James Harden, especially with Elfrid Payton being doubtful. You guys know me. I'm not a Payton fan, but the one value he does bring to the Knicks is his defense. He's not the best defender in the world, but he's a good defender. He's a solid perimeter defender, and he's going to be out. So Frank, he's going to be playing a lot of minutes because we need to keep up with Kyrie. We need to keep up with Harden. He's definitely one of our best, if not the best, perimeter defender on the team. So we need to get going. I think, you know what I mean? Like Alec Burks off the bench, I keep thinking about him. I don't know why, because he's a guy that's all of a sudden can just break out on a game. He can get so hot and he doesn't miss. And I love that from Burks. He shoots a lot. So, the other game, he was 6 of 16 or 6 of 18 or something like that. Bro, if you're shooting 18 times, at least hit 10 of those, please. I don't know if that's too much to ask for, but he needs to get more in rhythm. So basically, the summarization of the preview is we need a lot of offense, and we definitely need to play defense. And that goes against any team, but with us going up against the star power like the Brooklyn Nets, we need to shoot the ball extremely well from beyond the arc. We need to lock them down and play our brand of basketball, which is defense. Defense leads to offense. If we can lock them down, force turnovers, get them rattled, play that suffocating Tom Thibodeau defense with everybody's switching, everybody's playing on one unit, and we'll see. So that really is it for my Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks preview. Let's open this up to a Knicks Q&A. So anybody in the chat want to ask me a question, let me know in the chat, and I'll try to get to you guys as much as I can. Sorry if I can't get to every single question, but I'll definitely try to get to as many as possible. So everybody, shoot me some questions. Is Quickley going to play tomorrow? I think so. At least I hope so. He was questionable going up against the Thunder, but he played. So hopefully that groin of his is okay because it was definitely a sore groin that he was dealing with. Hopefully that will be fine. And I haven't heard any injury report news of Quickley, so I think he should be good. What should be our defensive strategy? Trap Kyrie and Harden or just play straight up man-to-man defense? It's an interesting question, Andrew, because Tom Thibodeau is going to have one of those game plans. I think he can do a mixture of both. I think that Tom Thibodeau, as a defensive-minded coach, he likes to confuse the offense. He likes to be everywhere in terms of hands up at all times. Even if your guy's not on, you just hands up, get in the passing lanes, make sure that you can deflect the balls. If a pass gets by you, make sure you can deflect it. And yeah, I think they're going to try to trap them but the thing with that is I think they tried to trap a little too much against the Thunder, I noticed, because it opens people up when you do that because you're double teaming and obviously another player is going to be open. So I think they're going to do both. I think they're going to switch around, just do strict man-to-man. They're going to maybe even dabble some zone. You never know because they've been doing that here and there, low-key. And yeah, I think that was going to be what's happened. It's going to be dope. It's going to be a crazy game, guys. I'm nervous. Do you think Quickley should start? I would love for Quickley to start because we saw what he can do with the starters against the Thunder. And I loved every second of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley starting together, playing together. It was just awesome to see. But knowing Thibodeau, he just doesn't want to start him. I don't know why. Unless that game really woke up the coaching staff and said, yo, I think we need to let Quickley and Barrett and Randle play on the floor together because they're really dynamic. Or he's going to go Frank Ntilikina again because of his defense, and they need to play defense. Because if you think about it in the defensive mindset, is Emmanuel Quickley going to be good against Kyrie Irving defensively? You know what I mean? No. We need to get Frank out there to guard him. So that's the reason why I don't think Quickley should start, just because of the defense. But Quickley should definitely get a lot of minutes. What's up with Obi? People are harsh on him. Yeah, man. A lot of people are harsh on Obi Toppin. Knicks fans are harsh on, I feel like, every player that's not putting up 20 points per game. You know what I mean? that's just the reality of Knicks fans, But my take on Obi Toppin is I think it's way too early to write him off. I think his situation on the Knicks this year, like he doesn't have an established role in order to really see his potential because he has an all-star playing in front of him in Julius Randle, and Julius is averaging the second most minutes per game in the entire NBA. So the only time Obi Toppin gets on the floor, it feels like it's more he just needs to get out there so Randle can get rest. It's not like the coaching staff's like, all right, Obi, this is your time to shine. Like, we'll give you a good amount of minutes to see what you got. It's like, all right, you're on the floor for 4 minutes and you're off because we need Randle back out there. And that's the Knicks' approach, and I don't blame them. The coaching staff has every right to keep Randle on the court because he's our best player on the team by far. But I just don't feel like Obi Toppin has been given the proper opportunity to show what he's got. We see flashes. There's some games where he gets in the post, he looks good, and he has a really efficient night. And we saw that, pump fake three-pointer, dribble up to the mid-range, and he swooshed it. And there's other games where he airballs threes and he airballs post hooks. So he's all over the place. He's a rookie. I feel like he's getting more comfortable as the season progresses, and I feel like we're going to see a more confident Obi Toppin as the season goes on. Me personally, I'm not worried about Obi Toppin, and I feel like he will be fine. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to explode this season or next season, maybe next season, but we'll see, man. That's my talk. That's my thoughts on Obi Toppin. Let's see. Trying to get some of your other questions. Where's my dog, Rich? She's upstairs, Ryan. She's upstairs chilling. When do you think Mitch will be back? I hope soon, man. I hope soon. I think he has his cast off, and Coach Thibs said that he's been doing a lot of conditioning. He's been running around, but he hasn't been able to do any scrimmage yet. So hopefully the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks is a stretch. 2 weeks would be my guess. I noticed that we got 90 people watching. If you guys are new to the stream and you guys did not hit that thumbs up button, please make sure you do so. I would greatly appreciate that. We got 40 likes with 90 people watching. Let's get this up. Everybody smash that thumbs up button if you guys are enjoying my Sunday night live stream, answering a bunch of your questions. Appreciate everybody. When will RJ Barrett make his first All-Star game? Now, this is a good question, David. See, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but earlier on in the year, Clyde Frazier said himself, because you guys know that RJ was on a, up and down type of year this year. He started off first game, excellent against the Pacers. 3 for 3 from downtown, 20-plus points, but we lost the game. And we thought, okay, we lost, but RJ Barrett looks like he's going to have a breakout season. And then after that game, he missed 21 straight threes, went through a slump, and some people were writing him off. I was not. And then he comes back, and he starts going like the next 10 or 12 games after he breaks out of that slump, he's playing very good. And in that 10-game stretch where he's playing good, Clyde Frazier said on TV, on MSG, folks, RJ Barrett will make the All-Star game next year. And when Clyde said that, I was like, how can I not trust Clyde Frazier there? He's not just saying that. You guys know that you're watching Knicks games. Clyde just doesn't hand out. He's not biased towards the Knicks. He doesn't just give anybody that praise. Like, he sees the talent in RJ, and he sees the relentless work ethic from RJ, and he thinks that he could be an all-star next year. So I'm going to go with Clyde Frazier, and I'll say RJ Barrett is an all-star next year. It's a bold take. I know. It's a bold take, but I'll stand by it. Yo, Richie, my friend said RJ Barrett will never be an all-star. Should I stop being friends with him? Yeah, man. You got to drop him. You got to drop him, man. There's too many RJ haters out there. And obviously don't drop him as a friend, but tell him, listen, you don't know basketball. If you don't see the potential in RJ as a 20-year-old, I don't know what to tell you. And listen, guys, this is another thing I'm realizing. Julius Randle is in his 7th season, and he made his first All-Star game. And he's 26. Like, this is his breakout season. Like, Knicks fans are so impatient with players, and I understand. Like, we suck. We're impatient. We want to win now. Come on. I want everybody to be great right away. But we have not been able to develop talent over time, so we're expecting these young guys to just explode right away. And now we got a 20-year-old sophomore who's doing what he's doing. We still have people that don't even think he's going to be good. What else do you want from our young 20-year-old? But I don't know. I feel like, I connected it to Julius Randle because you never know. A player can take 5 or 6 years to really break out. You never know. Give me a score prediction for tomorrow's game. Ooh, Bronx native, you're putting me on the spot here, man. Putting me on the spot. I mean, I gotta be biased and pick my Knicks, right? It's only right. I'm not gonna pick the Brooklyn Nets to win the game. All right, before I give you guys my prediction, I understand the Knicks are the underdogs and the Brooklyn Nets are most likely going to win. But I'm going big, and I'm picking my New York Knicks to win 126-124. RJ Barrett game winner. Oh, man, that was crazy. That was crazy, right? I don't know. That's obviously not going to happen, or will it? You never know. As a Knicks fan, do you know how serious this next game is? Yeah, I do know how serious it is, and that's why I'm nervous for it, because this is going to really determine the fate of the city. And it is, but it isn't, because this is what I love about this whole scenario with the Brooklyn Nets and the Knicks, because if the New York Knicks make it to the playoffs, make it to the first round, win a couple games in the first round, and lose in the first round, and the Brooklyn Nets do not even make it to the finals, say they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, or say they make it to the finals and lose and don't get a championship, the Knicks kind of won this season. Because look at it in this perspective. The Knicks have the expectations going into this year. People have the Knicks as the 29th ranked team in the league. People expected the Knicks to be in the lottery, going for Cade Cunningham. People expected the Brooklyn Nets to win the championship this year. So for the Knicks to exceed their expectations and for the Brooklyn Nets to not meet their expectations, I don't know. You guys tell me. Will that happen? No one knows. It's all hypothetical. All hypothetical. Let's see. Do you think we will get someone by the deadline? If so, who? It's going to be tough. This deadline is going to be tough because I've heard a lot of reports that the Knicks are not going out there and being aggressive for a star. They've been very quiet. They've been very conservative with their approach. So my gut tells me we're not going to go out there and get anybody insane. Who would I want? I'm down for Lonzo Ball. But do I want to bring him in because how much are we going to give up? How much are we going to have to pay him in free agency? I don't know. I just want to replace Elfrid Payton. I want to trade Elfrid Payton for a 2052 second-round pick, get him off the team, and replace him with somebody else, or just let Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickley play. I don't know. I'm all for Lonzo Ball coming to the Knicks. I know some people don't want Lonzo to the Knicks, and that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but that's my take. I also do not think the Knicks should go out there and trade for a star right now. There might be another unpopular opinion. Some people are like, yo, go all in for Bradley Beal. Go get him. Go get Bradley Beal right now. Go get Zach LaVine. I just do not want the Knicks to blow up the team that we got right now to make a little push in the playoffs this year and maybe make the second round and lose, and then it kind of sets our team back. I want this season to be the culture year. If we're going to go after the big fish in free agency, the way I look at it is, if you want to go after the big fish in the trade market, because we have a lot of ammunition. I mean, that's the Knicks position themselves to be aggressive. We have so many draft picks and so much cap flexibility in order to get these stars. And I think it would be smarter to go after a superstar in the offseason because we have $15 million in cap space still. And that's as we speak. And I saw a report that we do not need to use that money at the trade deadline. That money carries over to the offseason, and we can use that in the offseason. So if I'm the Knicks front office, which I think they will do not blow this team up. Let them create, chemistry together, build that culture, create an identity, get to the playoffs with this unit, and then you see, all right, who are we trading? I don't want to blow this young core up. I want to see RJ and Julius and IQ and all these guys play well together. And if they do trade for somebody, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin should not be touched. But if we want to go for a superstar, one of those five is going to have to be touched. Obi Toppin, okay, but I don't want to give up Mitch. I don't want to give up IQ. Definitely not RJ and Julius. Those two are like, and Emmanuel quickly. It's like that's what frustrates me. But we do have a lot of first round picks. We obviously have 2 this year, and we have the Detroit Pistons second round pick this year, which is going to be basically another late first round pick because that's going to be really high in the second round because the Pistons are one of the worst teams in the league. So we have a lot of draft picks to trade for a guy, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't want to trade for a superstar. I want to see what RJ can do for the rest of the season, at least with enough. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm thinking about because what a star would do to this Knicks team, like, yeah, it'll be awesome, but it's going to take away from some of the development like RJ. I want RJ to be the guy this season next to Julius Randle. I want to see that duo. And he's been doing it, man. RJ Barrett is putting this team on his back at times in the clutch. And Julius knows it. Julius is feeding him. Julius has confidence in him. Like, if we can really develop a duo of Julius and RJ, and then we get a superstar eventually, like after this year, because this year is all about growth, right? And if you want to develop your talent, give the keys to RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. Let them get comfortable. Don't bring in a guy right now when we have something clicking because it's going to take reps away from them. First of all, the most important thing in the offseason should be getting a damn point guard for RJ Barrett because that's the one thing that's holding him back. I love Emmanuel quickly on the floor with him. I also love Derrick Rose on the floor with him. But Elfrid Payton is a joke when it comes to the development of RJ Barrett. I saw the craziest stat that drove me crazy. I wanted to cry. I literally saw the stat and I'm like, are you joking? I don't know the exact numbers, right? But, excuse me. Hold on. So the stat was this. RJ Barrett and Elfrid Payton played on the court together a total of like 800 something minutes. 800 minutes are on the court together. Out of those 800 minutes, 18 assists went to RJ Barrett. 18. There's 18 times Elfrid Payton assisted RJ. And then Derrick Rose literally got to the Knicks this year with RJ, and he's assisted him 8 times. 8. Compared to 18 and 800 minutes. That tells you right there that Elfrid Payton is not the guy to help develop RJ Barrett. We need somebody because you guys see how great RJ Barrett is doing from beyond the arc so far this year. And the reason is he's a catch-and-shoot rhythm three-pointer. He needs people to facilitate him the rock, and that's mostly been Julius Randle. Julius is dishing him the ball. If you look at all the highlights of RJ shooting threes, it's all Julius and Derrick Rose and Emmanuel quickly the other day because he finally got to play together. So I agree with this take. We got a lot of people joining in on the chat. What's good, everybody? 150 people. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you smash that thumbs up on your way in. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you guys are new to Knicks Media, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. I post Knicks content basically daily. I go live during games. I post my recap videos, and I go live like this to answer all your questions in the chat. So if you guys are not subscribed, if you're interested, hit that sub button. And also, make sure you thumbs it up if you guys are enjoying. I greatly appreciate that. So let's get into more questions. Trade Payton for Lonzo. I wish that's what it took, man. I wish. Trying to find some of your questions. Yeah, so answer me, shoot me any questions in the chat. I'm willing to answer anything. Peace out, Ryan. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Appreciate you, bro. So, tomorrow's game, guys. Tomorrow's game is going to be wild. I don't know if I'm ready for it. Of course I'm ready for it. I don't know if I'm ready for it, guys. I don't know. Because tomorrow's game is going to determine the fate of New York City basketball. Not really. But we'll see. Burks is ass. Yeah. Burks is a guy that he is on good games and bad games. But I like Burks. He's a solid pickup off the bench. We need scoring. We shouldn't trade for any star, not even a disgruntled one that chooses us. You want to come here, then come as a free agent and build on what we got. Imagine IQ, RJ, and Randle 2 seasons from now. Bingo! We got a winner. We got a winner. This is the exact mindset that I have. This is the exact mindset I have. I agree. Who does RJ remind you of? He reminds me of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last season. Pretty similar stats. Yeah, so I actually saw something, and I think their games are not similar at all. But if you compare Jason Tatum's stats to RJ Barrett's stats in their second year in the NBA at 20 years old, they're identical. And it's pretty cool because, like I said, Tatum and RJ Barrett, completely different play styles, but the numbers are very similar. So you never know, is RJ on the path of Jason Tatum being an all-star? We'll find out. But I've always compared RJ Barrett's game to, and some people will disagree with this. And again, that's okay. This is just how I always looked at RJ Barrett as a player. He reminds me of a lefty Dwayne Wade. His ability to go his own pace, to slash to the rim, and have that slow motion feel. Like, you ever noticed, and he just gets into the paint and he just slows it down and he just dribbles, takes 2 steps, absorbs contact, puts it in. I always felt like he was a Dwayne Wade type. And whenever I said that, a lot of people were like, yo, Dwayne Wade can kind of shoot. RJ can't shoot. RJ is shooting 47% from 3 the last 3 months. So you never know. Do I think he'll become Dwayne Wade? No. Do not put that words in my mouth, please. I'm just saying the play style reminds me of Dwayne Wade. That's my opinion. V-Man with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate your donations as always. Got my first Knick hat. What jersey style should I get? This is a good question. So, I don't know. You can't go wrong with the classic white. I got the white Emmanuel Quickley jersey right there. The City jersey's fire, but I think you can only get RJ Barrett, which is fine, obviously. And I don't know. It's whatever you prefer. It's either the blue statement jersey, the white classic, the away blue one, or the City black jersey. So if you want to go crazy and get the black RJ Barrett, I would do that. I was actually going to get a black RJ Barrett jersey, but then I'm like, wait, I have a statement RJ jersey. I don't want to do that. I'm waiting to get the City edition of Julius Randle whenever that comes out. I don't know where it is. Thoughts on Knox and Frank's future? Yeah, this is an interesting question. I feel like with Kevin Knox, I'll start with him. We kind of failed his development. We gave him a lot of opportunities. And I saw a stat. RJ Barrett is the third Knick to ever score 30-plus points before the 21st birthday. Kevin Knox was one of those guys. Like, Kevin Knox, his rookie season, really showed a lot of flash. And I'm like, yo, he's got it, man. Like, I think Kevin Knox can develop into something. And then he had a terrible season last year, and a lot of people wrote him off. I feel like Kevin Knox is ceiling in the NBA is going to be just a 3-point shooter. I feel like he's never going to be able to get that aggression to go to the rim at a consistent basis. I think he's a little too soft in order to get to the rim and, finish through contact. I feel like he's just going to be a shooter. And I wish Kevin Knox was getting minutes on this team, man. I wish he was part of this awesome run. He was looking good on the Knicks earlier this year. He was shooting 40% from 3. But then when everybody got healthy, he got shoved to the situational role. And now Kevin Knox is not in the lineup. So I think Kevin Knox is going to be trade bait. I think he's going to be included in these crazy trades that are in the future, I think. That's my prediction. Frank Ntilikina, he actually could be a free agent next year, so he could walk. But if the Knicks want to retain him for a very cheap deal, that would be smart in my opinion, because I can't think of a player that fits more of a top-to-middle system than Frank just because of his defense alone. Frank Ntilikina's perimeter defense is instinctually great, and you can't replace that. You can't coach that. You can't coach the size. You can't coach the instincts. But he's a liability on offense at times, even though he's shooting the ball ridiculously good from 3. I think Frank should not be a point guard. I think he needs to be off the ball, even small forward at times. I think he can be there. But I think Frank might not be here next year, and Kevin Knox is going to get traded. That's my gut. If I had to choose from two of these guys, I would pick Frank just because of his defense. Whew. Wow, guys, we've been live for 40 minutes. I didn't expect to go live this long. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. I've liked Noel this year, but his hands are always smothered in chicken grease. It's too frustrating, and in the playoffs, it'll make fans turn on him. Well, I really hope we make the playoffs because that's not guaranteed. Just a little reminder. But yeah, man, everything that Nerlens Noel's done to the Knicks ever since Mitch got hurt, he's been doing a phenomenal job. The one knock on him has definitely been his butter hands. You know, he just drops the ball every time they dish him down low. He fumbles it. I'm like, yo, Nerlens, catch the ball. It's mad funny. It's definitely mad funny. Knox is a promising shooter. Facts. I agree. He needs to get the minutes, but they're not giving it to him. Not giving it to him. Question. I have tickets for Knicks 76ers game Tuesday. Do you think the Knicks can pull off a win? Hey, man. Joel Embiid is not playing, so there's definitely a chance that they could pull off the win. But Ben Simmons is healthy, and he is one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he shut down RJ that second game of the year. So hopefully RJ, and in the rhythm that he's in, he can really thrive because that concerns me. But the 76ers are a great team. They have an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid, but he's not the only player on the squad that's good. Tobias Harris is a slept-on piece. So I hope they can pull off a dub. We need to win one of those two against the Nets and Sixers. We can't lose two straight, even though they're both like top of the East, 76ers just demolished Spurs by 35. Yeah, see? The Sixers, I don't like to hear that. I didn't know that. I don't like to hear that. So it's going to be a rough game, guys. The 76ers are a great team, especially now they're coached by Doc Rivers. RJ can be a threat from the outside now. That could open up the driving lanes for RJ. Facts, man. I always said if RJ can get a consistent jumper from beyond the arc and mid-range, he's going to another level of development, of stardom, or whatever you want to call it. The ability to be able to shoot the ball is going to open up the lanes to drive to the rim. Exactly like you said. Knicks defense versus Nets offense. What an exciting game to watch, especially on ESPN. Yeah, I'll be live during the whole game, so stay tuned here tomorrow on Knicks Media. I'm going to be going crazy. I don't know if I'm ready for that game because, again, if we win that game and I'm live during it, you guys don't want to miss it. Make sure you tune in. Am I going to another Knicks game soon? I would love to, but I'm waiting. Obviously they're expensive, so I got to save up for that. I don't want to go too crazy. But I would love to. I think I'm going to go probably in April. So yeah, I'll be going to another Knicks game this year. I just don't know when. Harden's going to mess us up with that step back three. Yeah, nervous. It's gonna be a game it's either we get blown out or it's close. It's either or. There's no way we blow them out. Who wins the Battle of New York tomorrow? I'm going to be biased and say the Knicks. I can't sit here and tell you the Nets are going to win, even though deep down I feel like that's going to happen. But the Knicks will win, right? The Nets will probably win. But the Knicks, they will win the game. Oh, man. Why not choose my Knicks, right? Why not? Question. Oh. Knicks should control the paint against the weak Nets interior. Facts. I'm down. They need to do that. I'm going to the Nets game. Just got COVID test. Which jersey should I get? IQ, Randle, or RJ? I would get RJ because he's the guy we drafted and he's developing into something that I think is going to be great. But can't go wrong with any of the three. So you're good. Honestly, put it in a hat, pick a random one, and you'll be good. If you guys did not smash that thumbs up button, I want to get 100 likes. We got 81 likes with 132 people watching. Smash that thumbs up button if you guys are enjoying tonight's stream. I'm probably going to end it soon. Been live for 45 minutes. And yeah, expect a lot more content coming here on Knicks Media. I'll be live tomorrow's game, so stay tuned for that. I want to go live for a little bit and talk about the Knicks because tomorrow we got a crazy game ahead of us. So that does it for today's live stream, or tonight's live stream, rather. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday night. And that does it for this episode of New York Knicks Talk. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Yeah. Hope you guys are having a fantastic night. And shout out to everybody in the chat for showing love on Knicks Media. It means the world to me. You guys are awesome. Let's go Knicks. Peace out, guys.